Sky Squad, we are indeed back in the building, and we're going to have a little ponderosa regarding why Monica Garcia is back in the news. And I need to do just a little teeny tiny rant on the Summer House episode that I just watched this past Sunday. Okay. I had not decided if I was going to really recap this show in general, but I was thinking to myself, why not? Because that show is pure chaos. And when I saw the first episode of this season, I was like, I don't really know because some of these people getting on my nerves already. But then I thought to myself, well, if they're getting on my nerves, that might mean I need to talk about it. Okay. So let's get into those things. But before we do that, remember, y'all, my book 2, The Wickedest Wives, A Vicious Reality. This is book 2 in the series of The Wickedest Wives. Is out for pre-order right now, right? So you can go on Amazon.com and you can pre-order it, and then it will become available on May the 14th. Then also make sure you guys are tuned in and tapped into my personal channel where I am chronicling my travel journey and some other exciting things that I do have coming up. This series on going through Switzerland will probably end up being about 20 or so videos. So I'm super excited about that. With that being said, y'all, if you hadn't already, make sure you guys check out Kempire's YouTube page. We went live yesterday to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion for season 8, part 2, and it was indeed a time that is my boy for life at this point. All right, so let's get into the tea. Here is the QR code for you guys who may want to go ahead and click on that to purchase or pre-order the book. And of course, the link will be in the description as well. With that being said, why is Monica Garcia back in that good news? Okay. Well, of course, it is because she has been mentioned by the Rihanna. Oh, yes, indeed. Let's get into it. So, Rihanna has sat down for an interview for an interview that is featured in Interview magazine. Okay. Now, Monica comes up when Mel Ottenberg, the interviewer, asked, I can cut a line. Wait, should Monica Garcia come back? I mean, this interview, when you get into it, it was all over the place. And I think that's what kind of makes it so iconic, not to be confused with iconic, because I kind of feel like sometimes iconic is overused. So I say iconic to really get into more of the just uniqueness and interest and intrigue of it for us as it relates to housewives and reality TV. Okay. Anyway, Monica says, I mean, if Tom Sandoval can come back, Monica should definitely be able to come back too. All right, so just a little bit about that situation. I kind of feel like the only reason that Tom and them people was brought back, because we had previously heard that that show was going to be axed after that season, was so that they could continue with the ratings that they had gotten in this past season, featuring the shenanigans and the goings on and the cheating and all that kind of stuff that had to do with Tom Sandoval. So I really feel like Tom Sandoval was brought back more as a plot point than anything else. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chatterization. For me, this is how I feel about the Monica of it all. As I told you guys before, I don't know who in real life would trust her at this point. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are on if y'all on the show and you find out, I mean, I guess to a certain degree, it ain't no worse than some cast members leaking things to, the press and the news. I mean, she just doing it under the guise of an internet account. But I also think it's the driving by the houses and things like that. That's I think where it gets a little creeps for me. But at the end of the day, I mean, if she, the way it was a little, it was giving a little creepsville. So I can get why the cast wouldn't want it. But for entertainment value, I say because Bravo had went ahead and pulled that trigger and they hired her anyway, despite the fact that they knew she had worked for Jen Shaw, despite the fact that they knew, or at least knew in the interviews, that she had been a little bit of a let me go and tell the people what she was doing. I felt like something had to be known. So as much as everybody doth protest, that is my belief. Okay. So my thought is y'all started this thing, you might as well finish it and bring her back. So in that regard, I can understand what Rihanna is saying. She was also asked about Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade being a couple. For those of you guys who follow the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you will know I did an extended little rant about that. When I kind of sort of talked about, really why I didn't want to recap this season because I knew it was going to be much ado about nothing. But Rihanna has her opinions like the rest of us do about the whole Kyle and Morgan situation. When asked, do you think that Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade were a couple? Rihanna says, I mean, duh. Listen, I love Kyle. It's weird commenting on her relationship because I don't know the facts, just like the rest of us. She says, I just feel like she was able to re-observe her marriage through a new lens. For once, someone else made her feel valued, made her feel like she was cute and quirky and fun and all the great things that maybe were taken for granted before. And that's why I believe that there's something with Morgan, because sometimes it takes that for you to fight for what you deserve. Okay? I mean, she pretty much summed up what we all thinking. Anyway, they go on and they're talking more, and Rihanna says something to the effect that I think you should want more too every time. And then Mel Ottenberg says, I do be totally. But I mean, what I mean is, sorry, good torture, great torture. Rihanna says, it's giving Garcelle and Dorit. I didn't attack you, Mel. Referencing Dorit claiming that she was attacked by Garcelle when Garcelle simply told her, what you doing right now ain't cool, in the calmest of voices. Okay. So Mel Ottenberg is like, no, you didn't attack me at all. Rihanna's like, then torture you. And then Mel says, well, what I meant is when you're styling the biggest diva, the best effing style in the world, with the best effing style in the world. And then Rihanna says, Dorit, this is what you should have said. Basically, like, Dorit, you was attacking me. You saying that I was attacking you earlier. What you should have said was this. Basically, in line with what Garcelle was saying, like, ain't nobody attacking you, girl. But it's just the references for me, okay? And so I just thought that would be a fun little thing to talk about today with regards to Rihanna mentioning some of our favorite shows. Now, speaking of mentioning some of our favorite shows, I want to get into just a little bit of my feelings on this Summer House season. Chime down in the chatterization if y'all are watching Summer House like that. Martha's Vineyard with the peoples, okay? Now, for me, I'm gonna let y'all know, I think that this show is wild AF. I mean, it is pure unadulterated chaos. And at first I was like, what in the Fraggle Rock is happening on this show with these youngins? Okay. And I do mean youngins, because the first thing that really irked my spirits was the way this summer girl, okay, is running up after this Alex boy, who, if you watch season 1, you know Alex ain't nothing but an F boy. I mean, listen, it's no shade. I feel like he's kind of sort of admitted it. He's in his F boy era, and that is what it is. So she, because they bumped boots one time, is like now telling everybody that he was all up in there and everything like that. And I'm like, girl, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I just feel like, for me, if you bumping booties and things like that, or whatever they did, bumping and grinding, if whatever you do, okay, in the dark crevices of your bedroom, it should probably stay there unless y'all have both agreed to talk about it with everybody else. But it sounds to me like they did a little bump and grind, and she ran around and sent a telegram message to everybody in the group that she could and told them about it too. Then she tried to make it seem like, well, it wasn't all that. Girl, if it wasn't all that, why are you so upset that this man ain't include you in a public event that his group is throwing, when you could have signed up for that mailing list the same way everybody else did? No, what you thought was, because you and he had done the bump and grind, that you all of a sudden was going to be elevated to girlfriend status, and you was upset that you was not. And in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, you should have known better. Okay, you should have known better, because I felt like Alex basically has in very certain and then uncertain terms basically let the group know that he for the streets. Okay, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that he is out there having a good time as a youngin. Okay, I don't know how old this man is, but I just kind of feel like, girl, why didn't you understand what did you think that was gonna happen, that was gonna tame that in him? Okay, it's never gonna work. Okay, it's never gonna work. It does not work that way. All right. And for me, I always feel like this. If that man ain't pursuing you like that, um he ain't ready. He ain't ready. He's still in the oven baking. Okay. And I just feel like when you look in the oven and the cake is still baking, don't take it out and try to eat it, because it's gonna be mushy on the inside. Okay. You might as well be eating the cake batter. All right. All right. I need you to hear me, Miss Summer Thing. Speaking of which, she brings her friend Noelle along. Girl, you should have told Noelle what was going on, the tea with Alex. I don't know what kind of friendships y'all got going on around there, because Noelle don't even know that you and he was bumping butter, okay, and down to the New York or wherever y'all was, and you just bringing her along. Like, did you just meet her? Like, I mean, like, I understand that y'all kind of like new friends and whatnot, but you sent telegrams to everybody else letting them know that you and him was churning butter together. But I don't understand why you didn't give her the memo. So now she come in the house, she got the googly eyes over this man, and won't nobody say, and everybody tell him how you feel about him. Girl, no. Hey, these people are not your friend. People are not your friend, Miss Noelle. They are not your friend. You is new to this group. Come in, sit down, be funny, because she is hilarious. Be the comic relief, and just understand that you need to observe with your two eyes before you commit to something. Okay. Don't be like Amir last season thinking that you're going to come in and zero in on somebody that you don't even know, and you new to this group like that. No, what you need to do is when you come into a new social circle like that, I need you to observe with your eyes and provide commentary that we need going into this whole situation. Because now you throwing yourself in there at the advice of these people that you barely even know, when the girl that brought you can't even tell you what she told everybody else in the telegram. No, okay. You would have had better luck with Shanice's friend, the man that just came in from out of nowhere that had a birthday and you was feeding him the cupcakes. You would have had better luck with him. Okay. And then the camera gonna show Alex making googly eyes, looking all jealous and whatnot. And I don't know if that was it. That man could have been looking at the wall, because you know what the camera people will do. You know what I'm saying? The camera people will make it look like something else going on and something else ain't going on. Alex might have been off into the spaced out and off into the distance, thinking about his next conquest, not thinking about Noelle. Because when she does open up to him at the suggestion of this group of friends that clearly don't care about her well-being at all, he's just sitting there looking at her like, girl, I mean, we ain't got nothing. I mean, I'm for the streets, baby. I don't even look at you like that. So she all disappointed and whatnot. I'm like, girl, you let these people set you up like that. Meanwhile, okay, you have got Bria still running around acting. I mean, Bria can't stay in. Bria, this is Bria's MO. Bria, every single time I see her in every episode, anything go down, Bria running from the scene. Bria spend more time running from the scene. I feel like Bria's probably spend more time running from the scene than she do in the airport, flying back and forth to see her man in Germany. That's how much time she spent running out of the scene. I feel like, girl, if you don't sit down and face whatever you got to face with this group of people, and stop going into the room and calling mama and daddy and boyfriend, like, just stand down, stand 10 toes down in whatever it is that you feel, and just confront it. The same way that you want these people to accept your dog running around, you need to stay in the scene and confront these issues. Okay. All right. Now, the first episode, she get to running because she get into it with old boy, and I'm like, it it just be boggling my mind how she just be running for no reason. This episode, she get to running because let me slow it down. Let me slow it down and tell you what's really the tea. Last season, she got into it with the girl Mariah, who ain't last about an episode or two, okay? Because everybody kicked her out because the girl got bucked with Bria after Bria got bucked with her. Because I believe it was Amir or somebody like that had done put put the dog, towels in with the rest of the clothes and whatnot, and then Bria's, like rah 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 about my dog and whatnot. And I'm like, girl, if my clothes had ended up in the laundry with your dog is gone. Okay, your dog got to go. Okay, and you can follow along with your dog, to be quite honest with you, because everybody not a dog person like that. So you got to respect that. Second of all, you had invited this dog, you brought this dog, and you ain't even get the dang on memo from the people that is that is allegedly renting the villa. So you just brought extra dog, and all of a sudden everybody got to deal with you and your dog and your breakdowns every 5 minutes. So with regards to this episode, we learned it's two people that they trying to bring back into the house. I'm gonna deal with some other things first and later, but I'm gonna deal with this first. We learned that Bria and Shanice wants to bring Phil back into the house. Now, Phil, for those of you guys with short memories, is the same dude that came into the house, thought he was gonna claim a room that had already been claimed after you get to the house late, then be disrespectful and take a poop in said person's room, okay, and then don't even flush it. That is some nasty, low, basic BS type behavior. And to be honest, don't nobody else want him back in the house. Phil, you are not invited to the Ponderosa anymore. I don't care how much you have grown over the summer. I don't care how much you have gotten in good again with Bria and Shanice. Go hang out with them. Bria is always running out of a scene, so I'm sure she could just run out down to the downtown area and meet you down to the bar. And you with your other friends. The only reason for you to be back in this house is for you to be back on TV. And you have already proven that you are not TV worthy because you are doing nasty, disrespectful things for no doggone reason. What he did not just affect one person the same way the whole Mariah situation did, because Jasmine want to bring her back. Now, I was actually here for Mariah last season, to be quite honest with you, because I kind of felt how she was feeling. So bringing her back to me is a no-brainer. But the only person she offended was Bria, and I felt like Bria was actually more disrespectful to her than Mariah was to her, because Mariah was just standing up for herself because nobody else was. Anyway, so at this point in time, I feel like the difference between Phil and Mariah is Phil disrespected not only just the people in the house, but he disrespected the house itself. And I just feel like somebody like that don't deserve the opportunity to kind of come back and redeem themselves, because to me, I feel like it was purposefully degrading to someone else. Not to mention the fact that Preston, the only gay man in the house, also seemingly felt an extra way about him because of the way Phil tried to call him soft. All right. So I don't know how quite well Preston expressed how his disdain for that. But I do feel like it needs to be said, because I feel like Preston is suffering in silence with this. And I just feel like to let that out, I feel like would be beneficial for him. Now, I don't know what conversations was had behind the scenes, but, it just seemed based on what we saw in this episode that he could definitely stand to let them know, like, no, I need y'all to understand for me Phil is a no-no. But I think for everybody else, Phil was a no-no because of their own feelings about the way he treated them and the house. Now, y'all know, when I talk about this show, I'm talking about what I see on the screen. All right. I do not know these people personally. You know what I'm saying? I know of them through the screen. So when I'm saying nobody should take any of this personally, I'm only talking about what you give me. Now, I ain't even here too much for Jordan, because I feel like she gives low-key mean girl energy. And y'all can, I know a lot of y'all seem to go up for her, but she definitely gives me the mean girl vibes. But I was here for her standing 10 toes down last season against Phil. She went head to head with that man and she bucked up on him. And I honestly while I feel like she gives the meanest girl in the house, I do feel like he deserved every little bit of what she gave him. Okay. Now, anyway, back to the Stilo. So the group addresses that. Don't nobody want Phil to come back. The next thing that the group that got to address is whether or not Mariah can come back. Now, Jasmine is literally low-key the only person that really wants her to come back like that. The rest of the group is kind of okay with her coming back, especially Preston, which is really upsetting to Bria, who got to run up out of the scene again. Oh my God, she got to run up out of the scene. You know, Bria care more about that dog than she do than people. Low-key, in my opinion. Okay? In my opinion, that's what that would feel like. Anyway, moving along. But the thing with Jasmine is, Jasmine, Jasmine, you done got yourself caught up. Not only do the girls not really like you, okay, which is unfortunate, you know, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because Jasmine is newly married and couldn't really figure it out. If they felt like she was just, you know, trying to stir up mess last season, or what, but the girls just don't like you, girl. And I think it's time that you just recognize that and accept it. These girls, they don't like you. They ain't not your friend. They don't really want to be around you. They ain't inviting you to the cookouts, to the get-together, to the clam bakes. It is what it is. So that is why, for me, I'm in agreement that Mariah does come. However, so, you know, so she could at least have somebody that's going to have her back since her husband not there. So what I do think is, though, that you should have been honest and said, listen, I already bought homegirl Mariah a ticket to come on out here. I hope y'all okay with it. Because the way it was presented was like, well, you know, I want to bring her, and she's definitely, we've had some conversations and whatnot. I think you should have just been honest and said from the get-go, when you step foot into the house, y'all, I want to invite Mariah back for a weekend, you know, a little weekend yik yak and whatnot. And so we could have a little shakedown and have a little good time. And plus, don't none of y'all like me anyway. So I would like to have somebody here that at least likes me. And I'm only basing this on what I see on the screen. Okay. There is a brewing issue amongst the Summer, Shanice, and what is that girl name that I think is Mean Girl? Mean Girl. I can't even think of her name right now. It's slipping my mind because I got so many things going on. But anyway, Shanice mad at Summer because Summer said she was the worst dressed. Shanice felt like she lost a job. Summer should have been a better friend, and I do agree. I think that when asked who is the least, you know, who dresses the worst, I feel like that's a game that I probably wouldn't play with a group of friends, because it's a really quick way to end a friendship, as we see here. I mean, which it seems like the beginning of the end, especially based on the way that Shanice was reading Summer down on Watch What Happens Live. These two women are not friends, okay? There is also a simmering issue between Jordan. Oh, that's Mean Girl's name. Jordan, or my perception that she is a mean girl. That is my perception. I do not know this to be true. She could be the nicest thing in the world. She could just come off mean on camera. I don't really know. What I am saying is that is right now for me her nickname. So Jordan and Summer, they got the issues that are similar, and I don't know what these issues are because Jordan was seemingly talking about Summer behind her back with Shanice, I believe. So I'm like, I thought y'all were supposed to be bosom buddies right now. Y'all don't seem to be as bosom as y'all were in the first episode. So something's going on. And now they arguing with each other because Summer feels like, as they were all talking at the table when Bria was confronting Jasmine about already having bought a plane ticket for Mariah, which she learned this from Phil, who I wouldn't believe from a can of paint. But it turns out it's true. Okay, the producers show us the plane tickets, and it is true too. Jasmine did get Mariah a plane ticket that had already or somebody got it for her that was already in existence before she had the conversation with the group. So Jasmine, you looking like a lot. So anyway, Summer chimes in basically and she really is trying to get the group to lighten up. And Jordan says something to shut her down. But then when Summer reacts, everybody turns on Summer and act like she is screaming and crazy and whatnot. And she points out, well, Jordan speaks to everybody like this. That's why I call her a mean girl, because Summer was right. Everybody treats Jordan like she is Princess Peppa. I mean, is that a name? I don't even know who that is. Everybody treats her like she is like this untouchable princess. And it comes across like she reigns court over everybody and doles out judgments and says all these things about everybody. And her word, and she's treated as though she is the most delicate flower that nobody can say anything to. So when Summer is responding to the group that way, I'm like, yeah, am I the only person that sees this? Now, granted, Summer got some issues going on too. Now, I mean, we talked about her at the beginning of this thing, but I just kind of feel like, yeah, now y'all are treating her like she is like literally the high priestess, and I'm trying to figure out why, because she low-key be giving all of y'all shade, yet remains untouchable for some reason. Um, mm, mm. But I will say that Jordan does have a very compelling story, because I do feel like her being transparent about, the alopecia that she's dealing with, I do find to be intriguing. And I'm wondering, like, I wanted to know more about it and where it's going and how it affects her, right? Because I feel like we see more of her. In my opinion, I see more of Mean Girl Jordan than I see of the like vulnerable Jordan. But that's just me. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about Summer House. If y'all feel like we should continue with these recaps. I mean, my recap was just as chaotic as the show, so I feel like we on par. Anyway, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already done so. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell button. Like this video if you like reality TV related content, or even if you just like me, okay? And make sure you guys tap into this QR code right there so that you guys can pre-order the newest book, Wickedest Wives, A Vicious Reality. It will be out, like I said before, on May the 14th. Super excited. Here is a good look at the entire cover. This is what you will get if you order it on paperback or hardback. But of course, you guys can also get your digital copy as well. And if you guys want to follow my journeys in Geneva, from Geneva to Lucerne, from Lucerne to Grindelwald, from Grindelwald to wherever we went next, I think it was Lucerne, then to Lake Como, and then Milan. Tap on into these videos. They will be on my personal channel. Links will be in the description of this video. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next one.